You're listening to The Brown Couch Show, a podcast that inspires, challenges, and keeps it real. This is where we unpack the raw, the gritty, and everything in between. No fluff, just real talk about real life. I'm Brandon Andrew. Most people just call me B. As someone who has walked through addiction, battled demons, and came out on the other side with a story worth sharing, I'm here now to reach those who feel unseen, unheard, or unsure of their place in this world. This podcast is all about helping you become unapologetically you, to inspire you to dig deep, grow your self-worth, and realize that even in the messiest chapters of your life can lead to the most powerful stories of all time. Sit back, relax, and enjoy The Brown Couch Show. Good morning, you beautifully broken, trying your best motherfuckers. It is your host B, and welcome back to the fourth ever episode of The Brown Couch. Yes, I just dabbed myself up. Sometimes I do that. You should try it sometimes. It feels good. It gives you a little boost of confidence, And today we are talking about control, or the illusion of control throughout our addiction and our recovery journey. And that sneaky little bastard control whispers in our ear and tells our brain, everything's gonna be fine, you got this, just keep doing what you're doing and taking it one day at a time. When in reality, you're in a fucking paddle boat in the middle of a hurricane out in the middle of the ocean. So la-di-da-di-do, here we fucking go. Our mind is literally a powerhouse, guys. A powerhouse. But sometimes they can be straight up liars. Slick, convincing, pathological liars. Our own minds. Our brain even tells us we're okay even when we know we're not. And sometimes that lie is literally the only thing that will keep us afloat. I remember not too many years ago when I first found out I was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. I was down in Virginia Beach and we had just gotten our stimulus checks, and I thought it was a great idea to just spend every single time I had on alcohol, going out, and hotels. I was just living the good life while everybody else was having COVID and doing tests and getting shots and, just doing normal life activities. But I remember being down there and feeling like my liver was the size of a fucking football and just telling myself, like, I'm okay, this is fine, it's gonna pass, it's just a little something. And then I was like, no, motherfucker, you're waking up drinking whiskey for breakfast, you're Googling what does yellow eyes mean and what is the color of liver failure piss, and I still was telling myself that I was in control. I really was. I was telling myself from the minute I woke up to the time I went to bed at night that I was in control. That this was just another problem that I had a solution to. And that was the delusion, man. I was seriously the captain of a sinking ship. And that's just one example. We want to believe that we're the main character in our lives, that we have total control, we pull all the strings, we decide. But our minds are just desperate for patterns, order, structure. It's like trying to find a constellation in a pile of dog shit. The stars ain't aligning, bro. It's just a mess. And that's when our mind does its little tricks. We squint and we make meaning of it anyways. Because chaos is, let's be honest, it's terrifying. Now let's talk about this dumbass glitch we have in our head. I like to call it the gambler's fallacy. And what do I mean by that? Well, have you ever been flipping a coin and it just hits tails 5 times in a row? So you tell yourself, and your brain tells yourself, that heads has to be next. Because it only makes sense. It's hit tails so many times in a row that that's the only option in the outcome that could be next. Just to realize that tails was flipped for a 6th time in a row. That's your brain on bullshit. Because in the real world, every flip is a clean slate. But we act like the universe owes us balance. Like, man, I've been through hell. I gotta be due for a win sometime. Wrong. The universe doesn't give a fuck. And I'm just here to tell you that as straight as I can. I used to play chicken with my sobriety almost, like it was a fucking game. Like, I'll just hang out with some people that drink. I'm not gonna fall back into that void. Because plot twist, there was times in my 10 plus year journey of addiction that I did attempt to stop for a few times. I thought I had the control and the power to do that. And yeah, that works for maybe a time or two until you start doing it over and over again and you start to realize that you're just not on the same wavelength as everybody else. So, how do you get on that wavelength? Well, you start drinking, you start getting back into uh, that routine of feeling like the people that you're hanging out with. And it becomes detrimental to your quality of life. Because when you're hanging around those people like that, that is the only thing you know. You don't know that there's other groups of people out having fun without drinking or consuming drugs. So, yeah, in a sense, I was playing chicken with my sobriety. Every time I told myself, yeah, I'm going to take like a tolerance break or I'm going to quit for this many months, see how long I can go. Well, that how long I can go turned into what, 3 or 4 days until I was right back into the same vicious cycle. And that was again just my brain telling me that I am in control. I can stop this when I want, I can pick it back up when I want, but that is not the case. And it's kind of funny. I would go a couple days without drinking and stuff, and I would reward myself like I was some kind of badass for putting the bottle down for a couple days like a normal human being. And I would tell myself, oh, that was strength. No, that was ego dressed up as willpower. I was betting on my downfall and calling it control. And it's literally that twisted logic that got me into half of the messes I found myself in throughout my entire addiction journey. Thinking fate had some sort of schedule and I just needed to wait my turn. Now that we've kind of discussed control and how our brain plays tricks on us to make us think that we're in control, let's talk about some options. Options and choices are the closest thing that we have to control. Every day we're faced with choices, challenges, and decisions, and we're the sole picker of those choices, if you will. But I can assure you, anyone that's listening right now has heard this lie. More choices equals more freedom. It sounds good, right? But real talk, too many options will fry your damn brain. And it will do so like a cheap steak on high heat. I've been in that position where I'm standing there looking at 30 different fucking paths. I could keep going to college. I could move away and start my career doing something I like to do. I could just find a part-time job and get an apartment. I could keep drinking and drinking and drinking with my fraternity and continue down the life that I was continuing. And I've been in that position where I'm looking at all these paths, all these choices I have in front of me. And my brain does this trick on me where I choose one and I think I'm in control because I've chosen one of the 30 paths that were laying in front of me. Just to find out that the path that I chose has led me to wasting 6 months of overanalyzing and figuring out what I wanted to do with that path. And listen, some paths are going to be disguised as gold and things that are of abundance and things that you like and lust for. You have to be careful with those choices. And I know we don't always see it when we're in our addiction because we're in a foggy state of mind and our thinking skills aren't as critical as they used to be. But you still realize that you're in control of the choices you make. Once you've learned how to navigate your options and choices, things just become a little easier. And it's not going to happen overnight. It really won't. It takes weeks, months, years of rewiring your brain into what options will lead you down the right path. And so what do? Do we just roll over and let life raw dog us? Hell nah. But we do need to admit that we're not God sometimes and that we can't control the storm. So what do we have control over? Well, we have control over our effort. We have control over how we react when life kicks us in the ass. We also have the option to make decisions and choices. They might not always be the right ones, but we still have that choice. I remember the first time I felt like I actually took control too, and I made the correct choice. It was not too long ago, actually. It was about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago to be exact, and it was when I was laying in the hospital bed. I don't remember a lot from when I was actually in the hospital per se, but I have like these little vivid glimpses and memories of my time while I was there. And it was at that time where I was laying in that bed, and I remember having this thought so crystal clear, and that thought was, I'm done with that. Like, I am done with that life. I'm done feeling miserable. I'm done burning bridges. I'm done lying. I'm done being exhausted all the damn time. And it was at that moment, somehow in my brain, it clicked for me. And I felt like I was finally in control on the right side of things. Now, here's where it's about to get real: mindfulness. And before you go rolling your eyes, I'm not telling you to go sit cross legged around a campfire and hum. I'm talking about being aware, catching yourself in your thoughts before they start spinning them into bullshit. Mindfulness is that tool that lets you go, wait a second, I'm doing that thing again. Mental gymnastics, control freak dance. Then bam, you pull the plug on it. Try not to pull the plug. Seriously, use that mindfulness to your advantage. I literally catch myself about 20 times a day just thinking weird thoughts, or the way I maneuver situations, or interact with people, and I'll catch myself, and it's almost instant gratification knowing that my brain was able to spot one of my flaws and correct it before it got any further. The more that you do this, the easier it becomes. I swear to you, I swear to you, I swear to you. The first couple times you notice yourself doing it, you will be so proud of yourself that you will literally dab yourself up. So when you stop trying to script the whole movie and just live it, you find meaning in the mess, purpose in the pain, and the beautiful power in surrender. Sounds super backwards, right? But that's just the twisted beauty of it. If you're to just take one thing away from this episode, I would hope that it would be to not overthink. That being in control doesn't mean always having all the answers or knowing the right path to take, but what you do with that choice and how you react to it. If you found yourself laughing or agreeing or even punching your fucking steering wheel listening to this, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like and shot me a comment and even subscribed. It's so awesome to me that even just in the couple weeks that I've started this podcast, that I do have a couple people on board and a couple of subscribers. And I really just want to thank you guys for giving me the motivation to keep doing this and hopefully be able to reach a larger audience. That's all for the Brown Couch. And until then, have a beautiful rest of your weekend.